Youth Forum, a place where we shape the next generation, place where we discuss issues like relationships, career and business advice, education and religious matters, and much, much more. So sit back, watch, and be informed. Your host is Laban Bethi.
So many people in the uttermost parts of the world. So feel much appreciated that you found time and you are always available to be with us and to get helped. Once again, the people that we are having today, that is our guests today, these are people that you've known for quite a while. They are not that new to us. And, we are delighted, young men, that you found time. You are here with us as it has been. So we thank God even for allowing you to have this time and to share with the world. The world is waiting. The scripture says the expectation of the creation is awaiting the manifestation of the sons of God. The world is waiting that whatever thing that we're going to release unto them is going to make them be of impact. So welcome so much. And, maybe you can just say hi to the audience, wherever they are, and then as we proceed to discuss the topics of today. Welcome, my brother.
Hello, how are you? My name is Martin Donyo, and I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to a very fulfilling and interactive show.
Awesome. Karibu.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. This is Isaac, as usual.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that we're here again to talk life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. These are guys that you know, and you know the substance that they carry. You know the input that they've built their capacity in a way that they're going to challenge a generation. They are going to fuel a generation towards an anticipated goal. The reason why we do these shows, we have a goal. We want to see a society that is having a change. We don't want just to operate in a comfort zone. We want to see a society that is getting fueled to go to somewhere. That's the reason why every time you can see us every Monday, so that we can help somebody. So that once we look back, we can see there is a tangible evidence of an output of what we've managed to do. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. And we are happy even for the times that you've been around, the times that you found your time to come and share to the world. I know that even from the feedbacks that we are getting from people, there is somebody somewhere who is getting enlightened, who is getting assisted. And that is the reason why we are doing all this. Any knowledge is of no importance when it is not helping someone. But once you realize that there's a feedback that you are getting from what you are doing, then it means that there is a generation, there is somebody somewhere that you've got a message for this person. So we appreciate you even for getting time to study in the various topics that we go through, and we are glad. So today, our audience, we are discussing about a topic that is not so new. We want to touch more on the younger generation, that is the teenagers. We want to discuss about teenagehood. It's a topic that is very much important, because as you become a youth, you pass through such a crucial stage. There are various decisions that you must be able to make, and if you don't make them in a wise way, they end up affecting your productivity as you get to a youth. Well, back to my guest today. We have the term teenagehood. It means that it touches a teenager, and maybe I might be a teenager and I don't know. It's good for somebody to know who is a teenager, and also to know the term teenagehood. you know. A teenager is a person, is an identity of a person, and then also now to understand that stage. Yeah, so I can begin with my brother Isaac, maybe to help somebody to understand who is a teenager.
I'll start by teenagehood.
All right.
And come now to a teenager. Teenagehood is that period of transition from being a child to an adult. So the period in between being a child and an adult. And as it's like there's teen in it, so it comes with also the aspect of age, where any year that ends with a teen, then you fall into that period of that age bracket of being a teenager. So any year beginning from 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, then now that's what the period they call teenage. Teenagehood. So that is the age bracket of being a teenager, but it's basically the period between being a child and now you're getting to a mature man, a mature woman, making decision. So it's just that period. Yeah.
Wow. So maybe Martin, do you have maybe a different explanation on the same?
Well, yes, teenage, that number of years, between 13 and 19, where there's a lot of change. And I think there's also a close relationship with what we call adolescence. That although now adolescence tends to be more biological, so that there are so many other factors coming in terms of body formation, body changes, hormonal changes, and basically it is that period between who a child is and who an adult is. So from early adolescence all the way to adulthood, then it's a period of about 10 years or so. 10 years or so, where there is a transformation, there is a change, a big change, both psychologically and physically. So that the body changes the person into an adult, and we can see it through the manifestation of the body, and even through maybe other things that come out of that period of change.
So maybe on the same, it means that there's some relevance of such a stage in somebody's life. Maybe there is somebody who wants to know what is the relevance of this stage. Why is it such crucial, in the life of somebody who is rising up? Why is such a stage, much crucial in somebody's life?
It is very important because you see, the person going through this process of change is going through these things for the first time in their life. And so I think the most important, the most common thing is usually a lot of misunderstanding. Why? Because the young person that is going through this stage is going through things that they are in most cases not well prepared for. And then the people that are around them, the environment, be it parents, teachers, or any other person, does not also appreciate what this person is going through. So that in the end, you realize that there is almost a surety of conflict and issues that will arise, simply because as an adolescent, as a teenager, I am going through things, and I've said hormones are also involved. And so in some instances, you will realize that because of the hormonal changes, somebody will behave in a certain manner.
So maybe Isaac, on the same, is mentorship a key component in the life of a teenager? Because this person is going through a certain biological changes, and maybe this person does not even know how to operate. Does he or she need to be mentored?
Yeah, I'll just begin from where Martin stopped by saying the stage is very key.
Yeah.
Very key, because number one, if that stage is not well managed, it will affect the whole of the rest of the life of that person.
Sure.
So there is need to have a right transition from being a child now to the adulthood. It's a very defining moment. That where somebody has to be, that stage has to be managed well.
Yeah.
And to be managed well, it takes first personal initiative, that the person who is going through that transition is able to handle himself or herself in the right way. And then there is people who have gone ahead, like the parents and the teachers, help them to transit in the right way. And that's where the issue of mentorship comes in. We need people who can guide them through that process. It's not easy. It is a stage that comes with a lot of anxiety. It's a stage that comes with a lot of fear. Again, it's something that probably you're not expecting, and you find yourself in it. So it's something that needs a lot of guidance and right guidance for that case. Yeah.
And why is it that maybe Martin, why is it that so many young people during such a stage, you realize that they've made wrong decisions? Maybe somebody has gone through into wrong relationships. By the end of the day, it leads to depression. Why is it that that at such a stage somebody can spoil their life completely?
Remember I said, these young people are going through something that is new to them. And in most cases, nobody has told them or even prepared them of what is coming. So it's up to you and your wits to deal with it. And because the body is growing, and there's also all that physical and hormonal change, naturally the body has its own demands that were not there in the beginning. So like you mentioned about mentorship, what is very important is somebody that can hold you through, and somebody who understands what you're going through. Because well, it's very many parents and people will tell you that they fear, they dread the teenage years. But in most cases, not all of them are as extreme, not all of them are bad. But it matters a lot that somebody is well prepared even before they get there, so that they know this is wrong, this is right, I cannot do this regardless. And then after that, let me know that I am responsible for my actions. And then if I feel this, what should I do? If my body feels like this, what should I do? So that at the end of the day, the kind of guidance and mentorship that this young person gets before they get into that stage and even through that stage will matter a lot. But in most cases, be it in the home setup or even in school, we refer to these young people as rebels, very rebellious. Yet sometimes it's not so. It's only that they are going through something that is very alien to them, and they don't know how to handle it. You know, so that if they get the right guidance, if they get the right support system, they can easily avoid most of the mistakes that they find themselves in. But for us as society, and I speak now in the Kenyan setup, maybe in African setup, is that we are always left to our wits. Parents will not guide you, will not advise, and even matters sexuality are a taboo.
Yeah.
That is left for teachers to go and teach. And then teachers also have a lot of things to cover in the syllabus. They don't have time for that. You see?
Yeah.
So it requires the right guidance, preparation. You are entering into this stage. This is what you're going through.
Yeah.
Those things that you're going through are very normal because your body is undergoing this process. So when you get there and this is what your body dictates, because I have already prepared you to expect it, then you know how to suppress it, or how to overcome it. Yes.
So just to add on something on what he said. At this age, it's when there are those changes happening, there are some parts that protrude, like they are growing, and in that growth, it comes with some pressure from within and from outside. Because now you'll be told, bwana umeanza kuwa mwanaume. Sasa, what were you before? Umeanza kuwa mwanamke ama msichana sasa. Because somebody can see something that was not there in you. And so with that quote, or somebody telling you that umeanza kuwa mwanaume, you'll ask yourself, then mwanaume anafanyaga nini? Like there are things that now you want to explore, you are not doing before. And in that age, when you are a child, you just observe. There's not much pressure. But you're getting to this time or this period of being a teenage. You want to do what now the next stage or the people in the next stage are doing now that they're adult. You feel like you want to rush into. So it's a time that comes a lot of pressure and a lot of pressure from within and also from outside. Now there are people who are doing stuff. It's a period that you want to try new things. I always call it a gathering stage, where you're gathering almost everything. Like you want to learn new stuff, you want to get everything, and you want to fit in everywhere, and you want to feel accepted. Like when you're probably a lady and something has protruded out of your body and you hear, okay, you want to know what are these people up to, what do they want to know from me. So that it's a period again that comes with a lot of attention, like you want that attention, and if you cannot get that attention, you'll do something. You always try to do something to get that attention, and that's the period where you'll find young people shaving in a funny way, piercing almost everywhere.
So maybe on the same, Isaac.
Yes.
So does it mean that peer pressure is very key in such a stage?
Of course. Of course.
Actually, it becomes magnified.
It's like everything that you do is it's cultivated.
You know.
Peer pressure.
You know, Isaac is speaking, he's saying some things have protruded. Those are body parts. They are body parts. And you see now, unfortunately, the society has objectified, particularly women. Women have become sort of objects. And so when this young girl develops the breasts, the hips, and all that, and then the society has already told you the bigger they are, the more attractive. Now the pressure comes in from there. If they are not as big, or are they as big? If they are not noticing me, as Isaac is saying, does it mean that my body parts are not as big as to attract? You know, understand? So there's that internal pressure. Why? Because I have already been used to this voice for boys. Now it is breaking. Today it's a soprano, tomorrow it's something that is rough, you know, and people will start making fun of you. The peers, the young men, the age group. and you'll feel very intimidated. So those are now within.
Yeah.
Okay, so that you feel odd. You want to retain your voice. You want to retain that body that was not being noticed.
Yeah.
You see, so it matters a lot how you are prepared. And I'm glad that sometimes in the school setup or even in the religious setup, you find that there are people that are deliberate about just preparing these young people. Otherwise, if not well handled, that's when you realize now that young people want to engage in sexual activity because the body is ready, and they were not prepared to know that the body being having blossomed in the physical does not necessarily mean that you can engage in sexual activity. You know, because it is a process. Just like everything has its time, so many other things also have their time. And I'll tell you for sure that's why we have a big challenge with teenage pregnancies in this country. And you see, we can blame the girls, and rightly so. But then we also have a responsibility as society. Why? Because these girls are supposed to have been mentored to know that your body becoming what it has become does not necessarily mean now you are ready for sexual activity. Two, some of these pregnancies are not from teenage boys. They are from adults. So again, we blame this girl that is only physically growing, but psychologically they haven't reached a certain level of mental ability to comprehend some of these things and the repercussions, and then you blame them for a mistake that was facilitated by an adult. Again, adding more pressure. You know, because somebody just made a funny sound and she responded, and knowing that something that person was not intending any good, and because she has never been prepared. Yes, she has been told by television shows that if and you look at most of the music videos, they objectify women. So once they see that is how life is, you see, that is how life is. So once a man, you attract the attention of a man, you're okay. But they are not prepared for what comes after that. Yes.
So Isaac, I understand that you've been a youth leader for quite, I think more than 10 years by now. These are things that you've gone through. Similarly to Martin in the education setup. We want to have a generation that is going to utilize the teenagehood stage wisely. What programs do you feel that they need to be incorporated in such a stage, both in the church setup and also in the, outside the church, in a way that we can secure this generation? Because I believe there are pastors who are watching. There are also leaders who are leading the teenagers who are watching also, and maybe it's something that they can think through and also incorporate.
Before I answer that, let me just finish something on what, just add something. This age group, it's the effect is not just on the physical, the changes that happen physically, but there are also changes that comes with that age group. I said you're transited from being a child to an adult. There are things that you saw people doing when you were young, but this is the time now you begin to ask, okay, am I not man enough to be able to do this? What we are sharing here, I know it's a bit of science, it's a research and personal experiences. We have combined it and we are bringing a version probably that is going to help somebody. It's not just science alone. I know there is science in school, that will teach you the changes and how they happen and the hormonal changes. But for this, we are sharing even the personal life. You say that somebody, they make wrong decisions. Personally, I tried something when I was at that age.
Yeah.
And I'm a man, and I see men doing some cigarette. And I wanted to feel like, okay, how do they feel? And since I could not afford, my parents could not support it. So we had like a gang of 3 guys, and we went to collect this cigarette. They are the
butts.
Yeah. I don't know what is the name of that, but
It's called a bat.
yeah. We collected so many of them.
The remains.
Yeah, now the remains of cigarette. And then we did not even have money to buy a matchbox. So we went to a certain home and we asked for a log.
Of fuel.
Yeah, so that we can have light to light the cigarette.
Yeah.
And then the man got suspicious. Like, why do you need fire? I said, somebody has sent me out. Somebody sent me fire. And this guy caught my shirt and let me go. Let's go together, that man. And then we found now the 2 guys, my friends, and we were given tarabited because they found we had so many cigarettes in our pockets, so many of them. We wanted to try, but we never gave up.
Yes.
We eventually got home, got a matchbox, and did what we wanted to do. So it comes with a lot of peer pressure. You want to try so many things. And as we said, there is need a lot to have a good mentorship, people who understand there are changes that are happening. But the problem we have in today with the society is we are denying that there are changes.
And this mentorship is supposed to be gradual. It's not like you mentor me today and you leave me.
No, that is not
until
mentorship.
I get how
It has to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
In this sense. For example, in school today, we have what we call a life skill lesson. Well, unfortunately, because of the setup of the curriculum and all that, it's only one lesson in a week. But if well utilized, and I've seen places where it has been well utilized, it makes a big difference. Because these young people have very genuine issues, very genuine questions. All they need is somebody that can answer them correctly. I also know, for example, in church at JCC, particularly JCC Baxter, there is a program that has been running for a while. It's called COPA, Keeping Hope Alive. That again has made sure that every Sunday, young people are engaged. You see, these people have questions, but they also have extra energy.
Sure.
So if we can engage them constructively, the Bible says that an idle mind becomes the devil's workshop. So if we can engage them constructively, it becomes very easy for us to help them sail through. Okay? So we institutionalize the mentorship, we engage them, we make sure that there is enough activity that utilizes that extra energy and just makes sure that they are pointed in the right direction, and then we teach them to be responsible. It's very key. If you can teach these young people, and I've had those conversations with my own students at different intervals, where you help somebody understand that at the end of the day, you bear the consequences. At the end of the day, you bear the consequences. It's not easy, particularly with the you see, each group or environment that the young people grow in has different challenges. It's not easy when you are telling somebody that teenage pregnancy has it will stop your star from shining, you will not achieve the very best in life, when all they have seen in their homestead or in their society is teenage pregnancy. You know, it's not easy, but there are those that will listen
Yeah.
and will look at things in a different perspective. And once they come through, you see them happy. You know, they tell you, you know, so I'm glad that we were able to stick through. And now I'm either at college or I'm in university and all that. Because they need to understand that it's not, they're not the first ones.
Sure.
And it's just a stage that will come to an end. And then after that, now life, you know, based on the experiences they've gone through. Yes.
Wow. We thank you so much for keeping tuned. We are glad that you are keeping the focus. And this is a very crucial topic that is really affecting a generation, that is really making so many people lose direction. And we are happy that we are getting to somewhere whereby the generation that is coming up is getting to be healed. So as you come to the closure, remain focused that maybe as a leader, the people that you are leading, or maybe the dreams that you have for your family, it will not be scattered, basically because of not giving your children the right guidance during such a stage. So as you come to a closure, Isaac, I had initially asked you about you being a leader.
Yeah.
There are various things that are happening in the church, and you realize that we're in the church. It's true that we are being preached to. You know, there is much figure, you know, in the word. But once you look back, there is a generation that is still perishing. Is it that we are focusing much on the bigger youth and putting much emphasis to them while preaching to them, and we are not giving much focus also to the generation that is coming? How can we bring them close so that at such a stage we are going to secure the generation? Maybe in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's where I was coming to when I say there are so many things, there are so many changes that happened during that time. And it's a period where young people are asking questions. And I saw a quote somewhere saying, even when we are not teaching, our children are learning. So if they have questions and you cannot answer them, there's somebody answering them. Today we have so many teachers, and if we don't handle them well, probably now in church and probably in schools, in mosque and everywhere, then there are teachers out there, and that probably more so, especially in social media, it is giving a big influence to the generation we are having. They spend out of 48 hours in a day, 24 hours that is, 24 hours in a day, then probably more than 10 hours they are spending on social media, and they are gaining something from there. You can only spend, probably as parent, you can spend with a child an hour or 30 minutes. So who is making much influence on the child? Is it social media or you? Probably they come to church once in a Sunday. If you don't have a good program, they are feeding somewhere more than what you're feeding them. So we need to have a good program in church, and a place where you can listen to what they are going through. They can ask questions. I always read the Bible with some trying to dig deep, other than just what you've been taught, and just taking personal time to read the Bible. And when I read the story of Adam and Eve, you'd find God told them, do not eat the fruit in from the middle tree. And that, I think that was the end of the conversation. But devils brought some good message from the same, but it brought some revelation that when you eat, you'll do this. When you eat, this will happen. So this is a lesson that God never told Adam. And now devil got an opportunity to bring something on top of what God had told them. So if the church is not going to stand and teach young people, yes, there are changes, but this is how you need to manage them, then devil is out there to bring some information that we've not taught our children. So we need to be open enough, deliberate enough to create platform for them to speak to us, ask questions, and we answer. But today we're having a generation of like the older generation that think asking question is being rude, or they don't want to be asked question. They just want people to follow, of which that is a wrong perception in our generation. We need to have a platform where we can talk, we share issues, put them on table. When this happen, as you say, some things, mentioning some things with your kids becomes a taboo. You feel so hard. But we need to put things on table, because if you don't answer them, somebody else is ready to answer them. So the church need to up their game, making sure like there are programs for the young people, especially that age. Because I said, if they are not well managed, that stage is not well managed, then it affects the entire of their life. They are mistake that they can never be corrected. You get pregnant today, you have kids, no matter how you excel, like you have a puncher, you already have a puncher in life. And that is a permanent mark that will never go away. So we should never allow our children to make some mistakes while we are in a position to help. So as much as we are giving them other parts of life and other bits to help them grow, then we should not forget to teach them about life. This is life. These are changes that must come, whether you're born again or not, whether you are in church, whether in mosque, you are whatever, they must come. But how to manage them, we have to help them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that's very much interesting. And thank you so much, guys, for such an engaging conversation. As we part, you need to know that you as a teenager, wherever you are, make good use of this time. I think everything has been highlighted. Make good use in a way that you're going to be productive in this season. You are going to make good use of the holidays that you go out of school, because they can as well be good and they can still spoil you. Make sure you have a role model who is taking you in the positive direction. Learn skills that are going to fuel you to the right destination. And by the end of the day, you are going to appreciate such a stage that you went through in life. So don't overlook such a moment, don't overlook such a stage, and know the importance of it, and cultivate yourself well. And by the end of the day, you are going to appreciate the decisions that you made in such a season. So we greatly appreciate for finding time. To our viewers, always, these guys here are very loaded. Whenever you have an issue, there is a number down on your screen. You can WhatsApp the number, you can send a text message, you can even write on Facebook or maybe on YouTube your questions, because we are here to be able to offer solutions. In case also you want somebody to come, maybe you have an event somewhere that you need these minds to be there, you can make a call to the number that you can see down on your screen. And I believe by the end of the day, the generation that is rising up is going to rise up with more power. Yeah. So thank you, guys. It's a great honor, it's a great pleasure. Let us keep encouraging these young people, because that is we are in that season, and they truly rely much on us. Yeah, remain tuned every Tuesday, every Monday at 8 p.m. We shall be coming to you live from Mombasa, Kenya. God bless you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Welcome to JM Youth Forum.
How can a young person be consistent on a purpose? How can a young person...
You see a person doing or behaving a certain way. It is out of information. You dress like you think.
Pleasure.
You talk like you think.
Thank you.
Out of what is inside here, the fullness within you, that's what the mouth speaks. So, what you have in your head, you behave like that.
Would you understand this? Yeah, social media, it's a platform, it's a connecting platform, right? Just as the word goes, social media, it's a platform for mostly socializing. It's a media of exchanging information.
To be inspired, be ready to be transformed, be ready to get something great, something that is going to change you. Be ready to receive a word for you.